So in this worked example, we're looking at planning of operation order, um, and we're looking at a situation where we're going to start from number 12, and then we're going to do two operations on it. We're going to minus 3 and times 4. And the question here is really getting us to look at, does it matter what order we do that in? Like if I go 12 minus 3 times 4, or if I go 12 times 4 minus 3, do I end up with a different answer? And you can see in this module, they actually tell us, or in this question, sorry, that the order of operations does matter. I've got a minus and I've got a times. They're not in the same family. Times and divide go together, so it doesn't matter which order in. Plus and minus go together, so it doesn't matter what order you do them in. But once you've got a minus or a plus with a times or a divide, then you're going to end up with different answers depending on which way you do it. So really, you just need to show, that's what they're asking you to do here, is to show that the order does matter. So you've got to do it one way, and then you've got to do it the other. In this specific module, they use a flowchart idea to show how to do it. So we'll do it that way the first, and then I'll show you how I actually write it out just a little bit more mathematically, because we don't really use flowcharts in maths too much. All right, so if you start with 12, and so the first option we're going to do, we're just going to do it as it's written on the page here. We're going to go minus 3 and then times 4. So if I go 12 minus 3, and when you do a flowchart, that's what they do. They have these little boxes up here. The reason why we don't really do it is because it kind of looks like 12 to the power minus 3, which we don't want to do. 12 minus 3 equals 9. Then I'm going to do the times 4. 9 times 4 equals 36. So you can see if I do it that way, I end up with 36. The important thing to do as well is that we really, this isn't that normal way to write out our maths. We don't really use flowcharts that much. And there's a reason for that, because it's easy to get sort of muddled with what this is actually telling us. The other thing to be really careful with here is that you don't use the equal signs. I've had a number of students who write this out as 12 minus 3 equals 9 times 4 equals 36. And that's just not true, because 12 minus 3 equals 9, which doesn't equal 9 times 4, because 9 times 4 equals 36. This part here is true. If you just had that statement there. Or if you just had that statement there, 12 minus 3 is equal to 9. And it's just, it makes it very confusing as to what you're trying to say. So avoid using the equal sign. It actually would be better if you just did a bit of an arrow instead. Might help illustrate the point that it's flowchart rather than having up here. And there's a reason why they like subscript them a little bit to really show that this 12 minus 3 equals this, then you're doing this. They're the steps. So to write that out more mathematically, what we actually do is you write the whole thing out like you would do it 12 minus 3 times 4. And depending which way I do it, I can show which one I do by joining these parts. So if I was to do this part here first, then I would write 9 times 4. So you can see that first step, because 12 minus 3 times 4, I'm saying that equals 9 times 4, which equals 36. All right, so let's show how we can do it the other way. So one way we get 36. The other way would be to go 12, we'll flowchart it first, 12 times 4, which equals 48, take 3, which equals 45. So it doesn't equal 36. So depending which way we do it, we end up with different answers. And if I was to write that out a little bit neater, then I would do 12 times 4 minus 3. And then I'm going to show that I did this step first by going 48 minus 3. And then I'm going to show that my next step is to minus that. So you could do it that way, and then you can have the other way that you did it, where you went 12 minus 3 times 4 equals 9 times 4 equals 36. So that would be showing it one way, showing it the other way. If you really want to get pedantic on what you want to do, you want to show, because when we do our maths, we always do times before we do minus, unless there's brackets there. So you could bracket that, and that would help illustrate what you're doing. But whatever you do, it's all right. Just if you're doing a flowchart, don't put the equal sign in. Do an arrow instead.